Skull Nation, stop scrolling. US Bank Stadium just got rocked by 3 seismic developments that could define the next 5 years. A franchise quarterback on thin ice, a coaching hot seat blazing, and a division rival ready to steal the Vikings' defensive mastermind. Here's the first payoff: 5 years. That's how long Kevin O'Connell has been the head coach without a playoff win, and the clock is ticking louder than a fourth quarter timeout. If you bleed purple and gold more than you fear the Packers, hit like and subscribe right now, because what happens in the next 72 hours could fracture or forge this franchise's future. We start with the quarterback situation that has Minnesota's front office sweating. No runway, no patience, no 5-year plan. The player? J.J. McCarthy. And here's why this changes everything for the Vikings' quarterback future. McCarthy was supposed to be the answer after Sam Darnold's 14-win season. The franchise quarterback Kevin O'Connell vouched for after a meniscus injury ended McCarthy's rookie year in August 2024. But after McCarthy's first season as a starter, O'Connell shifted his tone, hedging that a more competitive quarterback room is necessary moving forward. That's not confidence. That's concern. Now imagine what happens when your head coach, the 2024 NFL Coach of the Year, is suddenly facing hot seat conversations just 1 year later. Nearly a third of the NFL turned over its head coaching positions this offseason, and multiple Vikings reporters agree that next season could be vital in O'Connell keeping his job in Minnesota. Purple Insider's Matthew Collar said it himself. 5 years as head coach without a playoff win is rare in the NFL, and that puts massive pressure on O'Connell to at least return to the postseason next year. The math is brutal. Kevin Stefanski won Coach of the Year twice with Cleveland and got fired the year after making the playoffs with Joe Flacco. Brian Daboll won the award in 2022, beat the Vikings in the playoffs, and was fired mid-season less than 3 years later. That's how fragile this award is, and that puts McCarthy on a short leash if he's named the starter next season. According to Collar, the Vikings cannot afford to say, "We're going to ride with JJ. It's a 5-year plan." That luxury doesn't exist anymore, especially after Sam Darnold reached the NFC Championship game with another team. That's a catastrophic look for Minnesota's decision-makers, and it means the Vikings have to save themselves this year. They need to be back in the playoffs, and that could mean a quarterback move nobody sees coming. Do you think J.J. McCarthy deserves 1 more year as the starter? Drop your take below and smash like if you believe Kevin O'Connell's seat is hotter than people think. But here's the twist. If O'Connell needs insurance at quarterback to save his job, he also needs his defense to stay elite. And that's where the next story gets dangerous. Division rival, defensive mastermind, a coach who knows everything about Brian Flores' system. The name? Durante Jones. And the Packers just made their move. On January 20th, NFL Network's Ian Rappaport reported that Green Bay requested an interview with Jones, Minnesota's defensive passing game coordinator and defensive backs coach, after Jeff Hafley took the Miami Dolphins head coaching job. That's not just poaching talent, that's strategic warfare. Jones isn't just an understudy to Flores. He's one of the few holdovers after Ed Donatell's firing in 2023, and was also on staff with Mike Zimmer. Flores himself said it publicly. "I know a lot of people think it's all me. It certainly isn't. I don't care where a good idea comes from." That's respect. That's acknowledgement that Jones is a peer, not a pupil. And now the Packers want him to run their defense. The Athletic's Alec Lewis reported on January 16th that Jones left one executive from an interview last year raving about his session, saying he believed Jones would soon become a defensive coordinator. That prediction is about to come true, and if it happens in Green Bay, Minnesota's nightmare deepens. Jones has already interviewed in person with Dallas, met with the Jets, and has a request from the Giants. But the Packers? That's the worst-case scenario for Minnesota. Imagine this. Flores leaves for Pittsburgh, Jones takes the Green Bay job, and suddenly the Vikings lose both architects of the league's most aggressive defense, while their biggest division rival gains the blueprint to counter everything Minnesota does defensively. The math is devastating. Lewis wrote it himself. If the Vikings are convinced they'd want Jones to replace Flores, they must manage the situation with foresight and alertness. Losing both would add even more uncertainty to an offseason full of it. But here's the deeper wrinkle. Pioneer Press reporter Jace Frederick argued on January 12th that Minnesota's quarterback decision could hinge on whether Flores returns. If Flores is back and the Vikings believe they have a championship-level defense again, they must make a move at quarterback, whether through free agency or trade. But if Flores leaves and Jones follows him out the door, Minnesota's defense takes a step back, and McCarthy gets more leeway as a developmental project for a team with tempered expectations. That's the calculation Minnesota faces. Do you think the Vikings should prioritize keeping Durante Jones over making a quarterback move? Comment your boldest take below, and hit like if you believe Green Bay stealing Jones would be the ultimate betrayal. But as brutal as losing defensive coaches is, the next story is about a player whose value is at an all-time low. 3 legal incidents, a 3-game suspension, 6 drops in 2025. The player? Jordan Addison. And the Vikings are facing a massive decision about his future. On January 20th, The Athletic reported that the trespassing charge against Addison from a January 12th incident in Florida has been dropped per Hillsborough County court records. Addison will not have to appear in any further proceedings. That's good news legally, but it doesn't erase the pattern of off-field issues that have plagued the 2023 first-round pick since entering the NFL. Addison previously pled guilty to a misdemeanor speeding charge in 2023, was arrested on a DUI charge in 2024, and was suspended the first 3 games of 2025 for violating the NFL's substance abuse policy. Vikings general manager Kwesi Adofo-Mensah addressed Addison's situation during his January 13th end-of-season press conference, and his words were telling. Adofo-Mensah said, 99% of the days that Jordan Addison is a Viking, he is a joy to be around. He is incredibly intelligent, confident, responsible. Then it's like all of us. It's what do you like on those 1% of those days? That's something we have to consider when you're talking about long-term ramifications of a contract extension. That's the language of uncertainty. The Athletic's Alec Lewis said it himself on January 20th. The Vikings in this regime, I don't expect them to ever trade people at their lowest value. Jordan Addison was drafted to be a clear fixture, but there is no overstating the importance of what these next handful of months are going to be for his future. Here's the brutal reality. Addison finished 2025 with just 42 catches for 610 yards and 6 drops. His season started with a 3-game suspension and included a benching in the first quarter of the Week 5 London game, a move Kevin O'Connell called a coach's decision. That's not the production of a player worth $18 to $20 million on a 5th-year option. Do you think the Vikings should pick up Jordan Addison's 5th-year option? Drop your take below and hit like if you believe Addison deserves one more chance. 3 stories, 1 franchise at a crossroads. The quarterback drafted to be the future is on thin ice. The head coach, who won Coach of the Year, is facing a hot seat. The defensive passing game coordinator is being hunted by Green Bay, and a first-round wide receiver's future hangs in the balance after multiple off-field incidents. Minnesota doesn't rebuild quietly. Minnesota explodes. This offseason is about to define the next 5 years of Vikings football, and every decision carries championship or collapse consequences. Let's break down what this means. If Kevin O'Connell doesn't make the playoffs in 2026, he could be fired, despite winning Coach of the Year just 2 seasons ago. If J.J. McCarthy isn't the answer at quarterback, the Vikings wasted a first-round pick and punted on a Sam Darnold-led contender for nothing. If Durante Jones leaves for Green Bay, Minnesota loses its defensive identity and hands the blue punt to its biggest rival. If Jordan Addison's off-field issues continue, the Vikings miss out on a potential Pro Bowl receiver and waste another first-round selection. The math is unforgiving. The pressure is suffocating. The question is, does the front office have the guts to make the right calls? Here's what I need from Skull Nation. 1. Smash that like if you believe Kevin O'Connell is coaching for his job next season. 2. Drop a comment with your boldest prediction for this offseason. Do we trade for a veteran quarterback? Do we keep Durante Jones at all costs? Do we move on from Jordan Addison? 3. Subscribe, because every single subscriber makes Packers fans furious, and we're about to dominate the NFC North conversation all offseason long. But listen closely. Here's the edge of the cliff. Brian Flores' decision could come in the next 48 hours, and if he leaves, Durante Jones becomes the most valuable assistant coach in Minnesota. But Green Bay, Dallas, the Jets, and the Giants are all circling. The Vikings might have to outbid 4 other teams just to keep their own coach. And if they lose that bidding war, the defense crumbles, and the entire 2026 season could be lost before it even begins. That's the internal cliffhanger. And here's the external one. Sam Darnold just reached the NFC Championship game with another team after Minnesota let him walk. Kirk Cousins might stay in Atlanta with Kevin Stefanski, his former offensive coordinator who knows exactly how to maximize his strengths. Aaron Rodgers, Lamar Jackson, and Kyler Murray could all be available this offseason, creating the most explosive quarterback market in recent memory. The dominoes are about to fall, and if Minnesota doesn't act fast, they'll be left behind while division rivals get better and the window slams shut. Skull Nation, the chaos is here. Hit subscribe, stay locked, and let's make the NFC North bleed purple. We ride together. See you in the next war.